This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast. On this week's episode, we talk about FFTs, first fucking times, and how if your partner says, I'm upset and I don't really know why and it's not yours to fix, you really got to listen to that versus continue to sit in the kitchen and ask what's wrong. Enjoy.
Good morning.
Morning, sweet babe.
It's so rainy and cozy out today. Like literally we can hear the rain outside. I'm so excited. I have like this full beautiful day of clients and planning my New York City workshop, and I'm just so glad it's raining.
Fuck
I
yeah.
can like be cuddled. The room where I have my office is just so perfect in the rain. It feels like I'm away at some mountain retreat.
That's wonderful. Yeah, you're going to help people today. I'm going to stretch and hit golf balls and probably drink Coors Lights.
Good job. Are you going to use your golf room?
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow. In this rain?
Fuck yeah.
Great.
That's
what
it's for.
Yeah, let me know how it goes. I'm so excited.
You want to talk about our problems?
Let's update on I love you.
Love you too.
I don't know, on how maybe my breakthrough. Remember how I had my breakthrough?
Yeah.
And then I don't know what we want to talk about because I don't think we've had any problems this week. Shocker.
Yeah.
Not that I can remember, unless you're going to spring something on me here in the chair.
There's no springing.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, I got a question for you. Were you avoidant of anything because you didn't want there to be any more problems?
No. Were you?
No. And I can't right now remember what we were arguing about. Like, I can't remember what the conflict was about. I think it happened in the kitchen, maybe not. It will come back to me, but I guess the point is that, like, I guess true healing, or maybe to me, that is a sign of it actually healed. Where I'm not gun shy about anything, and I can't really remember what it was about. What was it about? Because it sucked.
I'll call it, first of all, integration, the thing that you're talking about. It's like we address it, we move into it, and then we you were talking about this the other day, it becomes dust, and then it just sprinkles everywhere.
Yeah.
It is not that this thing was ignored or shoved under the rug, not attended to. It's that this little problem was brought into light and was allowed to sit with us and was allowed to be discussed, and then eventually it went poof. It was my lack of resiliency and my poor communication that led to me asking for pleasant company last Tuesday night, and your lack of resiliency and your standing in your agency and saying I can't provide that for you tonight, and my lack of understanding, which I said then, this is connected to something and I don't know what it's connected to. And kind of asking you for more than you were able to provide. Then when the stones got mixed, or I don't know what you want to call it, then when you popped into the kitchen, I was confused and didn't know what to do.
That's right.
You felt that I gave you the cold shoulder. I felt that I was just trying not to put on you something that wasn't yours to hold. And then what was hilarious was us trying to talk through it Wednesday morning on
the
camera.
podcast. And that sucked more.
That just sucked more because then we were dealing with cameras and time limits, and I felt shut down. And But that was Wednesday. And I would say even that day we worked it through. You asked so beautifully for gentle cuddles and kisses several times.
Yeah, it was actually literally after we turned off the cameras, it got so much better.
The tricky thing for us, I guess the audience should know this, is that usually when you and I discuss things, this is so nice because we can make eye contact, but usually there's lots of touching and hugs and exchange of energy that way when we're communicating. And so the one tricky thing about this, I don't know how it is for you, I'll just speak for me, is sometimes we would have just hugged it out. We would have just said,
we're not doing it 6 feet apart. We're actually, we're touching each other while we were talking about.
Yeah. So as soon as the cameras come off, we sometimes just stand up and give each other a long hug to regulate nervous systems, and then everything passes through us. I guess we could always stand up mid-pod, just do that.
It'd be bad for our audience members.
The cameras would really have a hard time. We'd have to carry these mics with us. We'd like stand up with it.
Yeah, we have to worry about tinging. We have to worry about like matching, continuity. What were your takeaways, light bulb moments?
Mm-hmm.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
Takeaways were FFT, first fucking time, where Lauren is accessing things that she's not comfortable accessing. A takeaway for me is you told me, you're like, hey, you set this up before the conflict happened in the kitchen. And I took away in the future, absolutely, honey, I'm hearing that you're having a really low resiliency day and you're feeling very tender right now. I love you the most. I'm going to go away because this is not mine to fix. I asked if I needed to own anything. You go, no, this is me. This is something going on that I didn't key on this, that I don't know the answer to right now. And then it's like, thank you, baby. Thank you for sharing that. I'm now going to go away versus sit in the kitchen and try to have pleasant conversation. Those were my two big takeaway / light bulb moments.
Thank you. Yeah. I guess takeaways were a deep sense of thankfulness for you that I have enough felt safety to begin to try to feel those feelings. Takeaways were an immense pride in myself for having even that language. We know before I wouldn't have even gotten to that place. So I even had language to say, I can tell in my body that this has nothing to do with you. There's something going on that I don't have the answer to. And I'm trying to really be proud of, did I accomplish all the steps? No, I didn't. But these skills are like any other skills. They have to be practiced. And I got further than I ever had. And so light bulb moments where I can request and share with you, hey, babe, nope, nothing. You don't have to take accountability for anything. I don't know what I'm feeling, and I don't know the answer. Space is probably the very best thing for me right now. Can you trust me? Can you trust me? And you have go be your joy. Go be in your joy. I think we know how much I love to be in my joy. And so when I'm not in my joy too, I know that I'm not like being the energy in the home that I love to be. So then I start to feel guilty about that. So that also gives me freedom just to be. And I think we really developed. So my takeaways and light bulbs are, it's okay. We don't need to solve it in the moment. We really don't. I knew that this was a thing I didn't have the answer for, and it might take time. And so my true light bulb moment came days later. Can I share that now? Days later, I got to chat with my sister. Shout out, love you the most. And we were just debriefing over our family time from the weekend. And hearing my brilliant sister speak all of a sudden made me realize that sharing time with family, which this happens to so many of us, had triggered this great desire for familial, particularly masculine-bodied love in my body. I have a deep wound there. I talk about that on this podcast all the time. It is what it is. I do a really good job, I think, of understanding that in this lifetime, that may never be filled. And so it's my responsibility to find that source of love in different ways, to provide it for myself, to send all of the love and good karma towards the masculine people in my family. I don't care to live a life where I'm just angry at the men in my family. Not interested in it. And I would be silly to think that I'm not human. And when I'm around my family, I want them to love me and see me. I want to make them proud. I want, that like fatherly love, that brotherly love. And so after time with family, I realized my light bulb was I need to do a check-in. I need to do a practice, probably like a little ritualistic practice of putting something back in me. And particularly this, I need to do something that makes me feel seen. Haven't figured that out quite yet. That makes me remember that I am enough, that I've done enough, and that there are masculine bodied people who love me and see me and appreciate me. And that it's so funny because I think I was able to say it on the podcast. I felt this like hole, like I felt this like time hole, familial hole. And it was funny because you said on the podcast, and it's beautiful to watch my face, you say, baby, I love you, but we've been spending so much time together. And I watched my little heart be like, what? Because that's what I was craving so badly. And as I was watching the film back, it made me giggle because I thought, Lauren, what you were missing was like that attention, that brotherly, fatherly attention. So yes, you had spent so much time with Trey, but I was still feeling in deficit, which is why I could totally feel that this had nothing to do with you. I was like, this is so confusing. Mm-hmm. Why am I craving familial attention, right? All of us as humans have this deep need to be seen and valued. I call it intimacy. And that need wasn't met in my little family time. And it was my sister who was able to put it into words most clearly for me. And so literally I'm listening to her story tell, having these ahas on this phone on Friday of last week, so much so that we jumped off the phone and I immediately texted you and said, babe, I found it. I found the source of my scarcity.
That's right. Yeah. You shot me a voice memo.
Mm-hmm. I said, found it, recognized it. Wow, there it is. Okay, great. And then it was so cool because then you responded. Yeah. So you were so proud of me. We had figured out that thing where this experience had not become a conflict between us. It had become a problem that we both were committed to solving. Mm-hmm. So then when I found a piece of the puzzle, like I put the last piece of the puzzle in, you were able to celebrate with me. Not, yeah, well, babe, it's about time you realized that it wasn't about me, right? It was about this. And it was just so cool because I'm working with clients all the time to say, y'all, when we can find out that we're on the same team against the thing that is causing the disruption in the flow of our energy, that's when it's like the magic sauce. And I felt like we both just got to celebrate together. I couldn't wait to tell you, as opposed to, babe, I'm so sorry. I've been angry at you all week because of this, that, or other thing. We hadn't been in conflict.
No, and you weren't. Like you started the whole thing where this isn't you. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
So my light bulb it came later. I found the location of the original wounding. Mm-hmm. And I told somebody it was akin to, I was feeling as I had on our anniversary trip.
Sure.
That night, that Tuesday evening. Mm-hmm. And it was a very specific to me. Mm-hmm. So it's fun to find it. Yeah, that was my light bulb.
Great. You want to talk about Easter Sunday?
Oh, sure.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good was our Easter Sunday? And also, was that your favorite Easter Sunday ever?
Well, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to get so weepy. Yeah, it was great. It was really, really great. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, best Easter ever. It was a 9/8. We had no family obligations. Yeah. We didn't put on any clothing. We didn't want to. We didn't go to any facilities with bells. We weren't obligated to do that. We woke up, drank coffee, had sex. We Zillowed. And then we're like, yo, do you want to go to breakfast? We'll beat the church crowd.
Yeah.
Went to breakfast. Had a lovely breakfast. I had a Bloody Mary. You had a Bloody Maria. Appropriation. And then we went on a walk. And you had a cup of coffee from a place, like the only place that was open. We found one place.
It was open because it was also a church.
And this was a Sunday miracle. They had one can, 24-ounce, Coors Light, and I tapped the Rockies. So drinking that on the street, which makes Lauren very uncomfortable, and me, it's like, Mardi Gras. But I snuck it in my coat pocket. It was like 68 degrees out. It was cloudy. We went and found a bench. We looked at the trees. We saw people coming in and out of like breakfast obligations, dressed up and stuff like that. Then we went home. Oh, no, we went to the store.
We took a drive first.
Yeah,
we drove
you're
like
right.
way out the loop.
Yeah, Lauren drove. I wasn't sipping and swerving. And Lauren went into the grocery store, which was a big mistake.
That was the only stressor in our day.
Yeah, because people had gotten out of the thing that I noticed in the parking lot, because I did not go in the store. The thing that I noticed in the parking lot was like non-consensuality, meaning this was Sunday at like 2:00 in the afternoon, meaning people were in clothes they didn't want to be in. They were doing events they didn't want to do, and then they were spending time with people, if they were honest, that they didn't really want to be spending time with. All with, like, I don't know, a happy face or like a pleasant demeanor. This is what I noticed from the parking lot. What was the vibe inside the store?
Yeah, first of all, it wasn't 2. It was only like 12:30.
Okay.
It was like immediately post church letting out.
Yeah.
So people are all in these Easter pastels. Most of these people, attend church twice a year, which if that's your thing, wonderful for you. I do ask you to consider, is it something that you want to need? Is it something you need, want, or desire? Because yes, Trey is exactly right. I didn't even have words for it. It's already hard for me to go into public spaces these days, especially at low capacity. Also, Sunday was great, but I was coming off 14 days of straight work, except for the day that I had visited family. So I was like, when we say low resiliency, I was very low resourced. I wasn't wounded, but I was just exhausted. And so, yeah, the mood in the grocery store was just either tired people or like hyped up on, emotional, spiritual highs.
What'd you go in there to buy, babe?
I went in there to buy champagne or like sparkling brut
And
toilet paper.
Yep.
It was a very funny thing in my arms. Yeah, I don't want to go down this long story, but like I almost had a panic attack in the grocery store. I literally was like, I want to be done. I want to be out of here. I almost just set myself down in like one of those coolers and just walked out. I was in a mood, and I'm really trying to be sensitive to this sometimes, of not wanting to be witnessed. And I think that's just okay. I think it's just okay when, I don't want to be seen right now.
what would you do different next time? Say if you needed to go into the grocery store or somewhere else in public and you didn't want to be seen, what tools would you have next time?
I would send you in if you were willing and interested and
Great.
sober enough to go in.
Skip it entirely or clickless, great. But say if you had to go in, what tools would you have next
I'm
time?
going to do the whole, like, I'm going to put on a baseball hat. I'm going to put on a mask. I'm going to put on sunglasses. I'm going to put in AirPods.
You're going to put on sunglasses too?
I'm teasing.
Okay.
That does feel like
Can we not turn our relationship podcast into a joke right now?
Yeah, I think a mask would do it. I've done the AirPod trick before, and it does help too because the music kind of keeps me internal.
What about just looking at the floor also?
That's what I did, and I was literally.
You could feel
when
it.
I say I was crawling out of my skin, I was crawling out of my skin. Yeah. It's a panic attack is not. It's not altogether logical. I very understand that I my ego's in check enough that I don't think everyone in the store was just staring at me. I don't think that's what was happening.
If it feels like that,
it
that's
just
valid, though.
feels like, get me out.
we all feel that way
Okay.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, get me out. I don't want to be here. We all feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so after you secured the bag,
literally one blip, but it was very comforting to get in the car with you and you like, babe, this is wild.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you feel it. You're such an empath. We did our human design screening and both of us found out that our solar plexuses are wide open and both of us are so empathic. So it's not shocking to me when I get in the car and Trey's like, all these people don't want to be here. And I'm like, all these people don't want to be here. So that alone just comforted me and made me go, I will talk about this in Reiki tomorrow is what I thought. Yeah. Like, this has got to be addressed, but it's not worth blipping our day. So.
See, when you're in a car, though, it's like you're in a zoo and you're on the other side of the glass. It's great.
I don't mind that. It was just, let's be very clear. I seldom go into the grocery store because you like grocery shopping.
I enjoy it.
And so it is once a month, every 6 weeks that I go into the grocery store. So
I'm in there a couple of times.
I need to acknowledge my privilege.
It's fun for me.
So lest everyone say, oh, poor Lauren.
No. Okay, so back in the car, we went home, and I was like, yo, babe, let's try those indica gummies.
Oh, are we going to talk about that?
Fuck yeah, honey. Come on, baby. We could cut it out. We could cut it out, too.
No, I think this is good. Yeah. This is good. I'm a grown woman. Okay, so Trey grew up in the great state of California. Has been using the marijuanas since...
I was like 16, so back in the day, you had to like meet somebody at 9 o'clock at night at like the 7-Eleven or something to get weed, and now you just have to, in California and states that are legal, you just have to be there before it closes. And now in the great state of Virginia, dispensaries are opening up, and just like 10 years ago in California, you need your medical license. So anyway, the beautiful thing about it being standardized is you know the doses you're going to get. 10 years ago, good fucking luck. Right. But now, certain products, you can really calculate your high really well, and you know what you're going to expect, just like you're drinking a glass of wine or a beer.
Yeah. So I grew up, ironically, that alcohol was fine, but things like marijuana were sinful.
Yeah,
so
it's a gateway drug.
It's always so funny. Yeah.
Into having a good
Holland
time.
and I were talking about this yesterday. We were like, that is such a strange phrase. So anyway, it's always just so funny to see what certain subcultures have deemed sinful and wonderful, right? Sure. Like I grew up thinking alcohol was fine, cigars were fine, but like this was bad. Anyway. So I've been slowly undoing that in my body. And when we were in New York City most recently, I was in a like high quality shop and was purchasing some things for friends. And Trey loves this one brand. I was getting this same brand of gummies for a dear friend, shout out, but not getting sativa, which is Trey's preferred strain. Is that how it's called? I was getting indica, and I have never tried indica because my supplier of the drugs is Trey. And so I only have what he has. I don't have a dispensary in my home, and I have never taken the adult step to just buy it for myself. So this friend says, hey, these are the same brand that Trey trusts. Why don't I give you 2 of these gummies, which are the same dosage, and when you feel comfortable or if you want to, you can try this indica strain instead of sativa. I was like, great idea. But I've had these now for a month, 2.
Yeah.
So long.
Where you been carrying them around, babe?
In my fanny pack.
So they've been in your purse. You've had weed in your purse for like a month.
Is that weird?
Cut that out.
Wait a minute. It's illegal to it's totally legal here in Virginia.
You're not doing anything wrong.
Okay, I'm not doing anything wrong.
And also, nobody cares. It's just hilarious that of all the places you choose to, as your supplier now, apparently. I didn't
this friend was the supplier. This is the thing, is that the friend and I saw each other at a place.
You technically purchased them for her.
I did. So I supplied.
So congratulations, honey. You graduated.
And then she cut me off some.
She gave you a dowry.
It was my fee.
Yeah.
My leg, yeah.
She gave you a little bit of juice. So how was it?
So yeah, you recommended that I do, so one of the gummies is 5.
5 milligrams, cut it in half, 2.5. You could even quarter it if you wanted to.
Oh my God, we should also tell the first time I did half of sativa. That would be a funny ending to this podcast.
Next,
so we'll tell what happened. So, I mean, the story's very short. I took the only plans we had for post grocery store panic attack was just coming home. I wanted to take a bath. I wanted to play some Mario Kart. I wanted to read my book. I wanted to journal. It was literally the calmest afternoon in the world. The baby had been with us for almost 2 weeks. She was with her dad. We had nothing to do, no obligations. rest and rejuvenation.
I think I literally said it. I was like, we get to do what we want now. What do you want to do? And you're like, I want a bath. I want champagne in the tub. I'm like, yay. What?
I'm so bougie. I'm like, give me bubbles in the tub.
Who doesn't want bubbles in the tub?
I don't know. It was lovely. So I took 2.5-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was the best. I didn't feel high. I felt calm. I just felt calm, and I felt like the critic was silenced. The you should be working instead of resting critic, shut up. And instead, I was able to rest. I did a crossword puzzle. I read my book. I journaled. Somebody asked, like, did time move more slowly? Because that's often an experience. And I said, yes, but not in a bad way, in this way of, it's only 2. Like, I still have time I can keep resting. It was like this glorious, like that feeling when you get up early in the morning and then you're so delighted that it's only 9 and you've done these things and now you have your whole day to play. That's what it felt like. I wasn't like waiting for it to wear off. I wasn't frustrated. I felt like if the baby had come home, like sometimes she'll just ring on the doorbell and just be here at the house, that I would have been fine. I didn't feel
paranoid.
Yeah, at all. I felt so calm. I forgot I took it.
Would you say that your brain slowed down?
No, I would say that the critic shut up. I didn't feel like slow at all. I felt calm. It's all. I did not feel slow. I did not feel affected. One of the things I usually hate about weed is that I can so tell I'm affected, I'm not even enjoying the substance.
Ah, great. Okay. It sounds like you found your glass slipper then.
And I've told you before, this is why I'd prefer to sip a glass of champagne or sip a glass of red wine, because I can control everything. Like one sip and you're like, no, you know what? I need some water. I need some food. No, I don't want to be that tipsy. I don't enjoy substances to be out of body. I enjoy it to be more in my body. And that's what this allowed me to do. I felt present. Yeah, I just felt calm. I don't know if that's a typical experience. I enjoyed it and I would do it again, which is never something I have said on weed before. I've been like, what was the joy of that? Mm-hmm. And again, it felt like, yeah, being at a vacation spot where you go, oh, that felt like seeing the ocean.
Good.
How did it feel for you? Because you're not a big indica person. This is why I've never tried indica. You've always said it's not your favorite.
No, it's not. I like sativa. Sativa's like a cup of coffee.
Okay.
So indica makes you want to listen to a song. Sativa makes you want to write one.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, indica is in the couch, and sativa, I don't have a catchy qualm for that. It was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I ended up like editing a podcast.
Which is funny because you just said it makes you want to listen to one, not edit one. Like,
so it slowed me down for a little bit, but then I was like, I want to do stuff, and that was like a really fun thing because I wanted to listen to the conversation back. Mm-hmm. It was a football podcast, so it wasn't about our feelings or our problems. And yeah, I did that, and then I don't fucking remember. It was just the best day ever.
It was.
It was so fun. Oh, then I crushed Coors Lights.
Oh, that's right.
So I got to drinking. It was a lot of fun.
Then we played Mario Kart.
And then.
Is that when I started The Good Wife? That's been our new show. Shout out Best Friend. Okay. I don't know. It was just the most glorious, and I so badly needed a rest day. And one of my favorite phrases is self-care is an ethical obligation. I needed to rest so that I could be the person that I needed to be on Tuesday and today and going forward. So like, it felt so good. It felt so good. And yeah, to the point that I'm like, I should try this again. To close out this potty waddy, should we tell the story of the first time Lauren tried weed?
Of course. This was the very first time you've ever like done weed in your life.
Yeah. Why
with me?
Yeah.
Do it. It's a great story.
So, oh my God. You know, hindsight's always 20/20, but we're just going to tell this. We're going to tell the raw version. So Trey and I meet October 26, 2019. We fall madly in love. He comes to visit Virginia from California after Thanksgiving, stays here for a couple weeks. We're like, let's do this thing. Trey finds an apartment. He puts a down payment on it. He flies back to California. December 29th, I fly out to California to meet him to finish packing up his home in California. Are you all noticing? This has been 2 months. And then pack up the rest of his precious shoebox apartment, spend a couple days in California, meet his buddies for the only time at this time, and then literally drive across the country together. We have spent, by this point, 3 total weeks together. Hilarious. I love you more than anything in the world, and it's the best choice I've ever made in my life. Just so wild, but it's like I just knew. I had this true knowing that you were my person. So we get to Flagstaff?
Flagstaff.
We get to Flagstaff, Arizona, first stop. And not only did we kill Trey's precious plants by leaving them in the car overnight, which was the saddest thing in the world, we also decide that this is the time that Lauren should try weed for the first time. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking...
In our defense, we were going to a pool and a hot tub, an indoor pool / hot tub.
Yeah, so, it's been the most glorious few days. Our first day of travel, fine, fun, everything I've ever... Literally was like this. We have been communicating like this since the beginning.
Let's keep this adventure going.
Yeah, so we were like, great. I think we got in at like 5. This is not like midnight. Trey planned our days so succinctly that if we left at 9 a.m. in the morning, we would usually arrive at the next stopping point about 5. So never were we super tired. I would say we would transfer off driving, but we didn't. You drove the whole way. Anyway, so it's like 5. And I'm like, you know what? This is Lauren 2.0. This is like my reclaiming of my life. I have this man. We're doing this thing. I am in a new chapter. I have my great job by this point. I'm on Christmas break. I have no child. Sure, I'm with a man I hardly know in a foreign city in a hotel, and I don't know what's about to happen with my life. But whatever. I am claiming this new chapter. So, did I take half? I would imagine I take half, but I feel like I just took a whole.
You took 5 milligrams.
I took 5 milligrams.
Which is a very low dose of marijuana.
Is that?
It is.
Okay. Yeah, somebody told me the milligrams in their favorite supplement the other day, and I laughed out loud because it was like 12. Yeah. It's like, that's so funny. 2.5 is my sweet spot.
Yeah,
so
me
anyway,
too.
I take it, and it's fine in the beginning. We go down to this pool in this hot tub. It must have clicked in the hot tub, because my friends, all I remember is that, what, like a pool or a public hot tub, there's like the dial on the wall where you can like turn it so that the bubbles bubble. Usually it's like a max of like 30 minutes. Someone turned that on as we got in this hot tub, and there was several people there, but it was pre-COVID, so there was a good amount of people in there. I would have told you I was in that hot tub for like 6 hours. It wouldn't stop. Then Trey's with me in the hot tub, and then he like gives me a kiss. He's like gonna go hop in the pool, and there's children in the pool because hello, hotel pool. And I am thinking in my head, it is not safe for Trey to play with children right now. He is under the influence. So I'm sitting
there.
And
am I interacting with these kids at all?
Like, yeah, you're like playing, but like as one does in a pool. You went in to jump in and cool off, I'm sure, because a hot tub's hot, right? So you like splashed. You like laugh and giggle.
I'm not the Pied Piper of children at this time.
No, you do laugh more on sativa. Like you're a giggly guy, but not like threatening. You're giggly, and I am just like crawling out of my skin, so nervous. I just want to get back to the room because again, it's this critic. I just have this feeling that I'm being watched, right? Yeah. Somebody knows I'm high. Somebody is going to ask me to do something that I'm not going to be able to do, or they're going to be on to me. Why? And again, it's not a bad thing. I'd not done a bad thing, and yet I was so paranoid that I'd done a bad thing. So we get up to the room. Okay, let's see if we can put this. Maybe it doesn't sequence, doesn't matter. At this point, my mouth is starting to get super dry. That's the other thing that didn't happen on this indica. Did your mouth get dry?
No.
Yeah, my mouth didn't get dry at all. So this is the first time I've experienced like cotton mouth. I am so like dry mouthed. I'm like freaking out. You're like, babe, just have some water. I'm like, okay. I remember there was chocolate. Was this the countertop night too?
Had to have been, yeah.
Had to have been. So I think there was some sex
We did counter before
the weed.
Before the weed in the pool, yes.
I just remember. Okay, yeah. It gets, and this is the other thing, is that somebody was asking me on the Indica, is my memory blurry? No, I have complete memories of that. But that night, yeah, blurry memory. So we'll just tell what I remember. I remember you telling me, babe, I've got to go out to the car to get something. Why don't you get in the shower? And me being like, okay. But thinking like, what? I need to take a shower. It's like to get the pool chlorine water
There
off.
was so much chlorine.
So much. It was one of those pools that like literally your body reeks. So I remember getting in the shower. I remember you coming to tell me once again, babe, I'm going to go out to the car to get something. And me going up to the shower wall. Do you remember this?
Yes.
And it was like a glass shower wall, like it didn't shut all the way. And I put my face against the wall and I'm like, baby, kiss me.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like,
just take a shower.
Just take a shower, baby. Just take a shower.
That's it. Just take a shower.
Just take a shower. And so then I remember putting my leg up on like the wall. And anybody who's shaved in a shower without like a ledge, you know that this is a little hazardous. And so I just remember with every stroke of my razor going, wow, Lauren, you are doing such a good job shaving your legs without cutting yourself while being this high. Wow, you're so amazing. I just remember thinking, he has been gone forever by this point. Like, he is gone forever. Mm-hmm. Then I get out of the shower. You're still not back. Maybe this is when you're discovering the plants are dead?
No, that was the morning.
I don't know why you were gone so long.
I was
does
gone
feel like a gone.
Maybe 5 minutes. Probably not, though. Like, I went to the car and I came back. It was 25 degrees outside, too.
It's true.
Yeah, I wasn't out there
Okay, so
smoking
that doesn't make
cigarette.
any sense, right? Yeah. Like, okay. So in my mind, he's gone forever. It's somewhere between the shower and putting on my pajamas, I have decided in my mind that this was all a part of Trey's master plan. And that what he wanted to do was to lure me to Flagstaff, Arizona, where I knew no one in the world, and then to abandon me. But first, before he was going to abandon me, he was going to film me in a sexually compromising situation so that he would be able to like blackmail me and have like a sex tape, something so scandalous. And that then literally he was going to drop me and abandon me in Flagstaff, Arizona, all alone. This is what was going to happen. And then Trey came back into the room.
What happened once I came back into the room? All that just went poof?
Yes.
Okay, great.
So I remember us remember sitting on the bed. Do you remember this?
No, kind of.
Yeah. I
remember the room.
I do too. This is explicit, but listen, this podcast is always explicit. And I remember us, maybe we were watching TV or something. I don't know why we would have been sitting like this, but I was sitting up and you put your head in my lap. And I had my like pajama shorts on. And we had some like sexual encounter that was literally just you like breathing and kissing through my shorts. Do you remember this now?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And the reason it was so hot for me is that I always tell my clients, anxiety is one of the greatest aphrodisiacs. I was so anxious and thought like I was in such this place. It was violating every prohibition because here I was being the naughtiest of people. And I thought that literally my life was about and anyway, so I did have this like crazy odd orgasm that felt, almost like I was judging myself the whole time it was happening because he is going to leave you. You know, this is like the bad man. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that was weed. I was convinced that Trey was going to abandon me in Flagstaff, Arizona.
It's a very common story, especially with an edible on your first time, like deep things of paranoia and weird and sweats. And it's so common, babe. FFT, though.
FFT. And so, I don't think I did any for a while until New York, where then I had a similar experience in the city.
Yeah, disassociation.
That was like our big on disassociation time. And what I have since learned about lovely substances is that they're just going to amplify what's already there in you too. And I still had a lot of healing and work and integration to do, and coming to a new value system, coming to a space where I loved the human that I was and loved you and was free to let you be whoever you were. Because a lot of this was like control that would rise up in my body too, and feeling like I didn't know you. And some of that's just true. I didn't really know you deeply. So anyway, it was fun. But those 2 times, and then I've had some other times of kind of paranoia just here at home. It's never been an enjoyable thing for me. So to contrast all of that craziness with, not being abandoned in Flagstaff, Arizona, to trying Indica and thinking, oh, this is so relaxing. It was so nice. So nice. You want to wrap it up there? Yeah. Thanks for coming to this episode of the Partnership Podcast. Hope this benefited you in some way, shape, or form. I don't feel like we shared any crazy tidbits today, but we're thankful for you always. If you have a partner and you'd like to work with a sexuality educator like myself on some of the things we've talked about, letting issues that arise not become conflicts and instead remain problems, it's one of my favorite things in the world. You can go to sexedforyou.com/free consult to request a free consult with me and let Holland know that you found us on the Partnership Podcast. Please remember that these are our opinions and our lived experiences. We encourage you to make your own and form your own. You have a right to self-determination and to informed decision-making. Please feel free to disagree with us. Please feel free to laugh at our stories and my use of marijuana. Have a great rest of your day.